I'm going to make a prediction that our next 4, we might have the same guys in a different order, or at least 3 out of 4. So I'm curious, who do you have at number 3?
Okay. So this is where it got more difficult for me.
Sure.
And had to kind of balance, for me, a lot of it's upside.
Uh-huh.
But when all of this next group is kind of in the same area,
Yeah. Yep.
it's for me, it's looking at things that I really don't like,
Okay.
and those guys end up floating down, sinking, I think is the correct word for that. Um, and so the guys that sink the least, because we're talking about top 100 prospects, right? Global
I'm
top 100
nervous.
guys.
Pull the
So
Band-Aid up.
my number 3 guy is Moises Ballesteros,
Okay.
who is really good with the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe doesn't stick as a catcher, but just looking at his numbers in Double A, Triple A this year, 289, 825 OPS, 19 home runs, which has gone up every year,
Mm-hmm.
93 strikeouts, 45 walks, so gets on base a ton, 24 doubles. Like you're getting production off, like legitimate offensive production from a left-handed batting catcher, if he
Mm-hmm.
can remain a catcher. And
Yep.
if not, like these are numbers that will play in the corner. And so if he's a first baseman, that's fine. Um, Comfortable DHing him, great. The value's all in the bat, and if he can catch, that's even better.
Yep.
But I wasn't high on him last year. But when you do what you do what he did at age 21 now, and he did it in Double A and Triple A, that to me it was just the guy that floated up to the top of the list.
Yep. It makes a ton of sense. I can get on board with it. I had him at 4. And so this is our first divergence. But yeah, big fan. I think I remember being decently bullish on him when when we went through this exercise this time last year, and he just hits. I mean, what do you want? He doesn't look the part of anything. He's like 5'7", 220, but
Yeah.
he just hits, and he hits for power. He's great. I cannot disagree with that. Yet 127 WRC plus across Double A and Triple A last year. Like you said, just 8 Ks 18% of the time, walks at a decent clip. That's just really, really solid. So I went with a risk for my number 3 guy. And it's a personal cheese ball that I cannot quit.
Okay.
Kevin Alcantara, number
Ooh.
number 3 for me. And I realized that this is maybe going to be probably like an unpopular pick, right? But for me, in this 3 through 6 range, I would argue that there are 4 guys who are at least comparable that you can arrange in some order.
Yep.
Alcantara, outfielder, just 22 years old, 6'6", 190. That is an alien frame. 6'6", 190. He's almost gotten to the point of like post prospect hype a little bit. And I realize that sounds silly for someone who's played like 3 games at the major league level, but he had a 124 WRC plus across Double A and Triple A in 2024. And we were just, took a bunch of time praising Ballesteros for a 127 WRC plus. 14 home runs for Alcantara, 9% walk rate. You'd like to see that a little bit higher. 26% K rate. That's okay. Can play legit outfield defense. And I just think that's already a very solid foundation of production in the upper minors. You also bet potentially, and this is what I'm doing, that there is an extra gear of athleticism and twitch and potential in that like frame and that body that he can take it to another gear that maybe Ballesteros cannot. And so what you see now is Alcantara is dotted all over top 100 prospect lists. I've seen him in like the 20s, and I've also seen him in the 90s, and I get it. But he was my guy at number 3, and that's the rationale I